Good morning. Today we're going to be going over the Unit 6 lessons 1 through 14, 11 through 14, pretest. You took the pretest the other day. You're going to be taking the post-test in the next day or so. So this is just going to be a little review of what was covered and how you would have determined what your answers were. Now, you are not going to be creating every single table that you see here and writing every single thing down. I'm going to write on the screen here what I want you to write down. So right now what you need is binder paper, or you can take out your math notebook, either one, and something to write with. Okay, I'm going to give you 45 seconds to get that out and be ready to go starting now. Okay, so you should have your paper and something to write with, and you're going to put, and this is going to be turned in as evidence of the work that you did in class. So make sure your name is on the paper, and everything that I'm writing down, make sure you're writing down so that when you turn it in, I see evidence of all of the work that should have been done. So put down number 1. And I want you to write this statement, because this is what we're looking for. Cost of 6 pounds of apples if 2 pounds cost $6. So writing what I just underlined. And then we're going to create our own chart here. And then we're going to compare that to the ones that are indicated. I think I may have one too many lines. Okay, this is going to be pounds. This is going to be cost. And I'm going to start with what they give me here. 2 pounds are $6. Well, if 2 pounds are $6, I need a unit rate. And if I have 1 pound, that's going to be half of 6, or 3. Then we're going to complete 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to take it out one more, even though that's not here. 7. Okay, so I'm going to have the substitute pause the video here, and you have 1 minute to complete what the rest of this should be, and then we're going to compare your answers to the choices they have here and decide which one is correct. So pause the video here, and in 1 minute, turn back in. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, and so now let's think about, if this is 1 to 3, then 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 would be 9. 3 times 4 would be 12. 3 times 5 would be 15. 3 times 6 would be 18. 3 times 7 is 21. Again, our answer choices don't go out to 7. But now I'm going to take a look at the tables that they have filled out, and the correct choice is A. Okay, that would have been the correct answer here. So now I'm going to remove that. I'm going to come down to the second one. And what you're going to write here is ratio is 1 to 4. Okay, that's what I'm comparing, or 1 to 4. That's what my ratio is comparing. Which values are missing in the table below if the ratio is 1 to 4? So I have 3 to 12, 7 to 28. I don't have anything here. 12, got something missing here, and I have a number missing here, and then that's going to be 64. So we need to determine which one of those would be correct. And again, we're just going to recreate our chart and then decide which one would be correct. Okay, so on your paper, you're drawing a chart or a table. It's more of a table, I guess, than a chart. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to add one more here because I'm going to include my ratio. And I said this would be 1 to 4. And then I have a 3, a 7, blank, a 12, and a blank. And I have a 12 and a 28 and a 36. Don't have anything here. And a 64. So take a look at the chart that you have created here. You know your ratio is 1 to 4. So then if I'm looking at the 3 times 4 would be 12. 7 times 4 would be 28. Use that pattern to find your missing results. Take 1 minute and fill in the missing ones, and then write your correct answer underneath. So pause the video here, 1 minute, and then turn back in. Okay, so 4 times what number is 36? Well, that would be 9. And 4 times 12 would be 48. And 4 times what number would be 64? Well, that would be 16. And C would be your correct answer. Okay? So here you're going to put correct answer, C. Okay, we're going to scroll on down to the third one. So for this item, if 7 balls cost $14, what is the price of each ball? So you're going to write down your ratio, 7 to 14. Okay, and label. This is going to be the balls. This is going to be the money. And if 7 balls cost $14, what is the price of each ball? You want to find unit rate. Okay? And we've done a lot of finding unit rates, so you should not have that much difficulty with this. And pause the video here 1 minute, and when you come back in, we're going to check and see what you have for an answer. So pause here, find the unit rate, 7 to 14, and what would the price of one of these items be? Ready? 1 minute, go. Okay, so we know if we want to find a unit rate, I'm going to take the number of items that I'm purchasing and I'm going to divide that into the money. If I can get 7 balls for $14, how many could I get for how many balls would it cost, or what would I pay for one? So I'm going to divide 7 into 14, and that is going to be 2. So you would pay $2. Okay? Now, on to the next one. A farmer sells 4 oranges for $6. Choose yes if the statement below applies to the cost of the oranges, and no if the statement does not apply. So I'm going to leave this up here, and I want you to, on your paper, write 4 oranges for $6. Okay? That's the rate that you're looking for. 4 oranges, $6. And then I want you to list A, B, C, and D on your paper. And you're going to write either yes or no, okay, for A, B, C, and D, based on these statements. So read the statement, decide if it's true. You're going to have to do some calculations. If 4 oranges are $6, you're going to have to find a unit rate to be able to answer some of these questions. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this one. Find the unit rate for oranges for $6. How much are you going to pay for one? And then answer either yes or no for these statements here, and put either yes or no by A, B, C, D. 2 minutes, pause here, and then check back in. Ready? Go. Okay, so let's look at the first statement. An orange costs 66 cents. Well, if you found your unit rate, you know that that's not correct. That's a no. B, an orange costs $1.50. Well, if it's $6 for 4, then yeah, that would be your oops, I'm putting a B. That would be your unit rate. Yes, that one is correct. 7 oranges cost $4.62. Well, if you found your unit rate, you would be able to then find out what the cost of 7 oranges is, and you would know that that is not a true statement. And D, 7 oranges cost $10.50. Again, when you found your unit rate and you calculated these, you know that that would be a correct statement. That is yes. So on to 5. A bus covers 220 miles in 4 hours. If it covers the same number of miles each hour, what is the rate of speed of the bus? So you know it goes 220 miles in 4 hours. You're looking for miles per hour. So again, you're looking for a unit rate. So on your paper, write down 220 miles in 4 hours and what you're looking for. What is the rate of speed of the bus? and circle the word rate, because that tells you right there you're looking for a unit rate. So write those two things down, and then you're going to calculate the unit rate for this bus and write your answer. So I should see how you found your unit rate and what your answer should be. So 2 minutes, pause the video here, check back in 2 minutes time, and we'll continue. Ready? Go. Okay, so I know in 4 hours, this bus can go 220 miles. And I want to know what the unit rate is. How much can it go, or how far can it go in an hour? How many miles per hour is it going? Okay, Bella, stop. 4 into 22, that's going to go 5 times. Subtract. 4 goes into 20, 5 times. And this is 55 miles per hour. Okay, so make sure you have all of that recorded. And we'll get ready for 6. Okay, so for 6, Sam rented 5 online movies each month for 5 months. So 5 online movies each month for 5 months. Which table correctly shows the total number of movies Sam rented after each of these months? So again, we're not going to just look at those to figure out what it should be. We're going to create our own table. Okay, so we're going to label months, movies, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I actually have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot bigger than what I needed. So I'm just going to take this part of it off. Okay, so this is months, and this is movies. So on your chart, you should have months and movies. And so we know that in the first month, he rented 5 movies. In the second month, he rented 10 movies. In the third month, okay, and then complete the rest of your chart. What would he have had for the remainder of those months? Pause the video here, take 1 minute and finish your chart, and then indicate which is your correct answer, A, B, C, or D. 1 minute, go. Okay, so I started completing your chart and remembered, oh, I wanted you to do this. So let's continue. In 3 months, 3 times 5 is 15. 4 months, 4 times 5 is 20. 5 months, 5 times 5 is 25. And the answer that is correct is C. So now we're going to take a look at this chart. And the height above the ground of a person riding an escalator is shown in the table below. What is the missing value in the table? Okay. And in 2 seconds, he's 18 inches above the ground. In 5 seconds, he's 45 inches above the ground. Well, we're going to go back and we're going to create our own table with the information that they're giving us here. And we're going to put fewer lines than what they're giving us because we want to find a unit rate. And then we want to be able to fill in some of these others. So drawing your chart right now. Don't make a little tiny chart so that you can't fit anything in it. Make it large enough so that I will be able to see what you're doing. And this is going to be time. And this is height. Okay, and they give us 2 seconds and 18 inches above the ground. Well, that's not a unit rate yet. So if it's 2 seconds and 18 inches, 1 second would be 9 inches. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, remember you have your unit rate. So for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, figure out what you're going to put in your chart for your unit rate. And we're looking for 7 seconds. This is the one that we're going to want the answer for. But I want you completing this whole chart for time and height. Take 2 minutes, pause the video here, and then you're going to check back in. Ready? Go. Okay, so I have a ratio of 1 to 9. Well, when I have 2 seconds, 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27. Since my pattern is 9, I can figure the rest of these out easily. 9 times 4 is 36. This is going to be 45. Bella, stop it. No. 7 times 9 is 63. 8 times 9 is 72. Stop. 10 times 9 is 90. 12 times 9 is 108. And 14 times 9 is 126. But the answer that you wanted is 7 seconds is going to be 63 inches. Okay? Check to make sure you have all of that in there. Okay. Moving on to 8. A car uses 9 8/10 gallons of gas to travel 245 miles. Calculate how many miles are traveled per gallon of gas used. So write this first statement. 9.8 gallons of gas to travel 245 miles. How many miles are traveled per gallon? So you're looking for miles per gallon. Okay? Per means your unit rate. Okay? So, this is also going to be a review for dividing by decimals. You have a decimal in your dividend. I'm sorry, in your divisor. So what are you going to have to do with that when you do your division? Pause the video here for 3 minutes. Okay? You might need a little bit more time for your division. So pause it here for 3 minutes, and in 3 minutes, check back in, and we're going to see how you did. Ready? Go. Okay, so I know that I need to move my decimal point And if I move my decimal point one place in the divisor, my decimal is here. I need to move it one place in the dividend and then write it in the quotient. Okay, so I've got my decimal all set. 98 is going to go into 245. 98 won't go into 24. It's going to go into 245. Well, 98 is pretty close to 100. So I'm looking at 245. That can go 2 times. 2 times 8, 16. 2 times 9, 18. One more is 19. Then you need to divide. We need to rename. And this is going to be 9. And have to rename again. Double checking to see what I put here. Yes, that was 18. One more is 19. And when I subtract, okay, 49 is less than 98, and I'm going to bring down a 0. 98 is going to go into 490 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 4 more is 49. And your miles per gallon, 25 miles per gallon. So you're going to write here that A is the correct choice. Okay? A, correct choice. Okay, on to the next one. A car travels 42 miles each hour for 4 hours. 42 miles each hour for 4 hours. What is the distance that the car traveled? I'm not looking for a unit rate for this one. So I know 42 miles for each hour for 4 hours. So hour 1, 42 miles. And we're going to go ahead and make a table. And this is going to be hours, and this is going to be miles. So 4 hours travels 42 miles. You want to, actually, we're not going to make a table. We're not looking for unit rate. I'm not sure why I put that there. I think I'm concentrating more on Bella and what she's not doing than on what we should be doing here. Okay, 42 miles each hour for 4 hours. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way. Each hour for 4 hours. So hour 1, 42. Okay, hour 2, 42. Hour 3, 42. Hour 4, 42. Each hour, 42 miles. I want to know the distance that car traveled at the end of those 4 hours. So if I've got 4 hours and 42 miles each hour, what is my total going to be? It's not going to be 42. I have 4 groups of 42. How are you going to figure out that answer? There's one of 2 ways that you can do it. Pause the video here for a minute, calculate your answer, and then come back in after the minute and we'll take a look and see what your correct choice should be. Ready? Go. Okay, so I know that I have 4 groups of 42. And we started the year talking about the relationship between addition and multiplication. So this is one way I could get my answer. If I have 4 groups of 42, I can add 42 4 times, or I can multiply 42 times 4. Multiplication is just repeated addition. Either way, you're going to have an answer of 168 miles. That's the distance that car traveled at the end of 4 hours. So make sure you have that written down and that you've shown your correct answer, or you've shown your work, and the correct answer is 168 miles. And we're going to the next 2. And Jack sold 30 glasses of lemonade in 5 hours. 30 glasses, 5 hours. Which of the following should be used to find the rate per hour? So write down 30 glasses. It doesn't make any difference if it's lemonade. 30 glasses in 5 hours. You want the rate per hour. And then write the statement from here that you think is the correct way to find the rate per hour. So you're going to need to take a moment or two to read through your choices, and you're writing out 30 glasses in 5 hours, and you want to find rate per hour. And then show how you write the statement that you think is going to be correct for doing that. Take 2 minutes and then check back in after the 2 minutes. Ready? Go. Okay, so if I have 30 glasses in 5 hours and I want the rate per hour, that's what I'm going to do. Divide 30 glasses by 5 hours. Okay, that's what you should have written down. So now for 11, Stephen can deliver 20 papers in 2 hours. Which of the following units could represent the rate at which he can deliver papers? Again, doesn't make any difference the name of the person. Deliver 20 papers in 2 hours. You want the unit rate per hour. Okay, and which one of these units would represent how you would find that? So pause the video here, take 2 minutes, write down your statements, decide which of these is correct, and write that down, and then check back in to see how you did. Ready? Go. Okay, so I know I have papers. I'm comparing papers to hours. 20 papers, 2 hours. That's what I'm comparing. They're not asking you to solve it. They're not asking you to say how you would solve it. They're asking you which of these would represent that rate. And you're looking at papers to hours. And that's what you should have written down. And C is the correct answer. Okay? So, on to 12. Mrs. Logan's class is hiking. They increase their elevation by 1,000 feet every 2 minutes. Oh, not 1,000, 100 feet every 2 minutes. What is the rate of their climbing? Okay, so we know they go 100 feet every 2 minutes. And I want to know the rate of their climbing. So I want a unit rate. So write down 100 feet every 2 minutes, and then unit rate, because that's what you're looking for. Okay, take 1 minute and find out what their rate would be for climbing. Okay, and pause the video here. 1 minute, go. Okay, so if you go 100 feet every 2 minutes, my unit rate would then be 50 feet in 1 minute. That's my unit rate. So I'm going to look at which one of these has a unit rate of 50. And it's 50 feet to the minute. Okay, your feet to minutes. 50 feet, 1 minute. Okay. So, getting to the end. Larry's laundromat has 3 washers and 3 dryers. Each washer and dryer set runs 10 loads a day. What is the rate of loads done at Larry's laundromat? Write down your 3 washers and 3 dryers. That's how many he has. Each washer and dryer set runs 10 loads a day. That means the washer and the dryer each do 10 loads a day. You want the rates of loads done at the laundromat each day. So write down your information first, and then you're going to take a look at which one represents the rates per day. Okay, unit rate that you have for these washers. So 2 minutes, pause here, and then check back in. Okay, and actually I said unit rate, and I'm sure you caught this and said, well, if they want 10 loads a day, that's not a unit rate. So we have 3 washers and dryers. That's going to be the set, and they run 10 loads a day. What is the rate of loads, plural, not one, loads done at the laundromat each day? And that's 30 loads per day. Okay, the end of the day, 30 loads. And moving on to 14, 1,200 yards per hour is the same rate at which of the following? Well, if this is an hour and I've got 1,200 yards per hour, you need to take a look at these here. You've got seconds and minutes, and make a determination for which one is correct. In 1 hour, you have 60 seconds. Okay, in 1 hour, you have 60 minutes. In 1 minute, you have 60 seconds. So you're going to need to do some calculations. 1,200 yards per hour is the same rate as which of the following? Take 3 minutes for this one and take a look at your answer choices and decide which one would be correct. Okay, and go. Okay, so I know that there's 1,200 yards per hour. There's 60 minutes in an hour. And that would go 20 yards per minute would be your answer. Okay? So make sure you have shown the math that you used, how you found your answer, and that the correct answer is 20 yards per minute. Now we are down to the last one. Okay, a storm 275 miles offshore is moving toward the shore at 50 miles per hour. If the storm keeps moving in the same direction and at the same speed, what time will the storm hit shore if it's 2:15 p.m. right now? So you have a couple of calculations that you need to do with this one. You know it's 275 miles offshore. It's moving 50 miles each hour. And you want to know what time will the storm hit the shore. So take 3 minutes for this. Pause the video, and in 3 minutes, you're going to check back in, and we're going to see what answer you have. Okay? Pause here, 3 minutes, and then check back in. Go. Okay, so there were 2 steps to this. You need to know if it's traveling 50 miles per hour, how long is it going to take to reach land? So 50 is going to go into 275. Well, 50 will go into 275 5 times, and that would be 250. Okay, I'm going to subtract 2. Well, 50 doesn't go into 25. So I have 2 choices here. I can either write this as a fraction, or I can add a decimal point and a 0 and write it as a decimal. Okay? 50 goes into 250 5 times. Well, 5.5 would be the same thing as 5 1/2. Okay? But this 5 1/2 represents time. 5 hours and half an hour is 30 minutes. So I'm going to take my time. It's 2:15 right now. And I have 5 hours and 30 minutes. I'm going to add these 2 together. And this is PM, so this is going to be 7:45 p.m. And that would be your correct answer. Okay? So make sure that you have your name on your paper. This is going to be turned in at the end of the period, and this is going to be your proof that you were working consistently through the period. Okay? Good job.